Good day, everyone. I'll be presenting the program assessment and framework review of the evaluation of the ACSM program under the LPTR framework or the Localized Peace Transformation and Reintegration framework. The Advocacy Communication and Social Mobilization Program serves as a behavioral and institutional change mechanism. When applied to conflict transformation, ACSM aims to mobilize institutional resources, shift public policy, dismantle societal stigmas surrounding former rebels, and foster community participation in peacebuilding initiatives such as the Enhanced Comprehensive Local Integration Program and the Barangay Development Program. These are one of the programs of the AYAP cluster or the ECLIP Amnesty program cluster of the National Task Force to end local communist armed conflict. However, conventional ACSM programs often rely on broad output indicators such as media impression, counts, or statistic surrenders registries. To evaluate whether these initiatives generate lasting structural peace, we utilize the Localized Peace Transformation and Reintegration Framework or the LPTR framework which assesses peace building across four core pillars. First is the institutional policy, convergence, trauma informed communication, community led social preparation, and socio ecological resilience. Let us begin with Pillar 1, Institutional Policy Convergence. The ACSM program successfully builds broad political will and public support for local peace efforts. However, the evaluation reveals a critical gap. ACSM lacks direct structural mechanism to convert temporary political goodwill into permanent, multi-agency budgetary line items. Inter-agency coordination often remains fragmented, leading to administrative delays in processing amnesty, legal clearances, and immediate livelihood packages. The existing ACSM strategy focuses primarily on public relations, general counter-stigmatization campaigns, and conflict-sensitive information dissemination. While useful for broad public awareness, this linear approach fails to address the deep-seated psychological trauma of former rebels, the emotional strain on families, and the pervasive fear within host communities without dedicated psychosocial counseling integrated into messaging. Top-down public relations cannot produce genuine social healing. ACSM engages intersectoral allies including local government units, non-governmental organization, and religion leaders. Nevertheless, programs execution remains predominantly top-down and government-driven. Receiving host communities often act as passive beneficiaries rather than empowered co-creators of peace. The absence of locally co-authored peace covenants and monitoring protocols reduces community ownership and long-term security integration. A major vulnerability of the standard ACSM framework is its complete omission of ecological sustainability and climate adaptiveness. Traditional reintegration projects rely heavily on short-term cash assistance or static, non-adaptive economic livelihoods. When these livelihoods collapse under environmental or market shocks, former combatants face severe economic distress, significantly increasing the risk of conflict recurrence. To address these structural gaps, four evidence-based strategic recommendations are proposed First, we recommend institutionalizing multi-agency policy mandates and fiscal convergence. Since we know that most of the agencies have their own budgets, have their own mandates, and have their own timeline of the implementation of the programs, projects, and services. Reintegration advocacy must transition from promoting temporary executive directives to securing permanent statutory budget line items across key national and local agencies, including social welfare, agriculture, and technical education departments. This recommendation is grounded in John W. Kingdon's agenda, setting theory and political economy. Kingdon posits that sustainable policy transformation occurs only when the problem, proposal, and political streams align to create permanent institutional agendas, statutory budget allocation, protect peace initiative from shifting political parties. So we know that no, in the local government, there's a high political interventions being made, and most of the personalities on the ground also may also provide them as one of the bottlenecks in implementing the programs and services. Second, we recommend shifting to concentric trauma-informed healing communication. Communication strategies must replace generic public relations with multi-tiered counseling dialogues that address individual psychological trauma, family reconciliation, and host community anxiety concurrently. This recommendation is supported by Uri Bronfenbrenner's social ecological model and trauma-informed care principles. Bronfenbrenner's demonstrates that behavioral change occurs across nested environmental systems spanning the individual, microsystem, mesosystem, and macrosystem. Effective messaging must operate across all social layers simultaneously to facilitate genuine reintegration. Third, we recommend implementing localized co-production of safety covenants and peace protocol. Host communities must be directly empowered through active local peace council to co-design, execute, and monitor safety agreements and reintegration pathways. This recommendation is grounded in John Paul Lederach's conflict transformation and participatory development theory. Lederach asserts that sustainable peace requires transforming rational dynamics and empowering local actors to co-produce their own social infrastructure, shifting host neighborhood from passive recipients to active custodian peace. Fourth, we recommend anchoring reintegration in socio-ecological livelihoods. And community cooperatives program design must prioritize climate adaptive eco-natural economic initiatives such as cooperative agroforestry, organic agriculture, and natural resource stewardship. Up to 35% of program resource allocation be directed to long-term socio-ecological co-ops. This recommendation is justified by Eleanor Ostrom's socio-ecological system theory and the triple bottom line perspective. Ostrom demonstrates that social stability and natural resource management are intrinsically linked. Ecological durability ensures economic viability and social equity, preventing livelihood failure and mitigating relapse drivers. So, in conclusion, adapting LPTR framework transform ACSM program presented to a conventional communication tool into a comprehensive socio-ecological resilience peace building mechanism by combining fiscal convergence, trauma-informed healing, community co-production, and eco-sustainable livelihoods. We establish a robust pathway towards lasting peace and sustainability community transformation. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I am now open if you have any suggestions and comments on the presentation. Thank you so much.